Hi, everyone. This is Elizabeth González, Chief Program and Strategy Officer here at the College Futures Foundation. I'm excited to welcome Brittney Davidson of the ADA Center, who is here to walk us through the center's new report, Holistic Student Support Technology in California Community Colleges. The ADA Center is an organization of higher education technology subject matter experts, practitioners, and researchers. They help higher education leaders adopt technology-related practices that support success and equity goals. They do so by partnering directly with states, institutions, and national organizations to provide practical research and technical assistance. Brittney oversees much of the organization's student success technology research and technical assistance. She has spent over 15 years working with hundreds of college and university leaders, state systems, education technology companies, and philanthropic organizations with the goal of improving student success and equity. And we are very privileged here at College Futures Foundation to have had a partnership with the ADA Center. So I want to just say, Brittney, bienvenida, welcome.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
So Brittney, technology is a big part of our institution's student success and holistic student support strategies. So many people have ideas about what technology should be able to do on campus, but it can also be difficult to know sometimes what's actually possible and what's the best use of it. So can you share how the report addresses this?
Sure, absolutely. So in the first section of the report that you should see on screen now, we begin unpacking what real technology is capable of doing today. And we do this in a really visual way by telling the story through the student experience. And what you'll see in terms of the visualizations here is kind of like an anonymized version of real products that are available on the market today and have been implemented successfully and look like this on real campuses that we've looked at. So we like to say this is an aspirational but attainable version of what holistic student support technology can look like when implemented well. So it takes you all the way through, we have our sample student Javi, his profile, all the way through how technology can do program maps and academic plans, and then how some of the processes need to be in place to support some of that technology as well. So as you can see, really visual and really easy to understand from the student journey perspective.
So we know that more often than not, technology implementations don't always go as planned. So why is this landscape so difficult to navigate? What are the barriers to establishing a model tech ecosystem?
That is a great question, and it is a big question. So I'll start with the second part of the report, which focuses on the overall holistic student success technology landscape more nationally. And as you can see here, just the sheer amount of holistic student support technology has exploded over the last decades. There are over 300 vendors now, probably more, selling tools that claim to support student success. As you can see here at the bottom, we kind of list what some of those products might be across the student journey. So many schools have dozens and dozens of products that they're trying to manage. And what happens with that is I'm going to share, I think, one of our scarier graphics, but I think it's ultimately very useful once people dive into it. This you see on their screen is our sample college technology stack and some of the common issues that come out with it. We worked with a number of IT folks and practitioners to come up with something that is actually a very simplified version, believe it or not, of a typical college's technology stack. And I won't go into a ton of detail here, but I think the main takeaway is that for most institutions, because of all these different tools, there is not one tool to rule them all. They're kind of piecing together a lot of different products. And as a result, you end up with what we've been calling these different kind of tool fiefdoms. So most institutions will have prospect management tools. They'll also have a separate set of tools for enrolled students for their advising and student success. And then underlying those sets of tools will be some of their core systems like your SIS and your learning management system, and in some cases, a data warehouse. And where the big issues tend to crop up is this is a bit like playing Tetris. Each of the different fiefdoms do not necessarily play well with one another. They don't share data that well. They might not like the way the data is encoded. They just don't necessarily mesh or play that well. And then within each of these fiefdoms, you also have individual tools that might not like each other, right? So it's kind of like the quote, all unhappy families are unhappy in their own way. It's very similar for colleges. This is maybe not what everyone's ecosystem looks like, but I think some of the overall unhappiness you can see between these is common. So that is, we go through some of the issues here. A lot of times it just has to do with duplicative technologies, colleges, technologies not talking to one another, or just missing certain pieces to make your ecosystem work.
Thank you, Brittney, for all the good insight you offered in our conversation today. How can people get in touch with you about this report?
Well, Elizabeth, they're always welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn as Brittney Davidson, Brittney Davidson, or through email. I am Brittney@theadacenter.org.